include that as a race director, as a promoter, whatever, that we're going to scale after consies and the feature.
Exactly.
Because it does make a difference when you're talking about transferring
that was
cars.
Unclear. That was unclear. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can understand the confusion. It sucks. It sucks for any driver that has had, and that's not the first time. We saw that at the Bud Nationals with Mark Carroll.
Oh, that was horrible.
That was another miscommunication. And again, not being used to the practice of scaling after a B main or whatever you want to call it.
Whatever the case may be, it's just
unfortunate.
Justin's whole night went to when he literally lined up for his heat race and the water truck came around and hosed him.
I actually had to laugh. I heard about this. I can just see Justin sitting there in his car. Just
you see his arms go up.
Did he get wet? Was it a lot of water?
Yeah, he got wet. That was probably the coolest he was the whole night.
Well, here's the thing. We were watching the videos earlier before Sam loaded them, and I see Justin's car on the track, and I go, where's all that water on the deck coming from? What's all that moisture? And he goes, oh, you're not going to believe this. Yeah. And he tells me the story about him getting sprayed.
Well, it wasn't like a track spray. It was like, the pit spray they do at Cottage Grove. So it wasn't like horrible, but I'm sitting there looking at him. I'm like, oh, no, this isn't. No, it got wet.
Yeah. Driver's door, cockpit, all of it. Yeah. Just clear over to the passenger side.
What a night. It was really such a great night we had. For me, I know this is get off subject, but for years I was always Wingles sprint cars, and I kind of lost interest in them over the years. And when I got there, that kind of got rekindled.
Yeah.
What a smell of alcohol and the injected motors and wings, and also the length of time it takes to restart a race.
Yeah.
And I've said it a million times on this show and everywhere else. If you're going to watch sprint cars, Cottage Grove is the only place.
They're efficient, but still, it's like me and Sam. There was a couple wrecks, and we're like, oh, now they have to start all these cars.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm not. You guys know my personal opinion on. I'm a stock car guy. I like the stock cars.
Well, that was my 20s.
Right.
My 20s, that was me. So
I don't care anywhere in the country. Anywhere in the country, if I'm going to go watch a sprint car race, Cottage Grove is the only place I'll go.
Oh, it was a class setup. Heather, she has that so dialed in. She's
got a strong sprint car background.
Well, not only that, we went the pit meeting, clear and concise. We understood it completely. Everything perfect orchestration of cars going out, going in. There wasn't any confusion. It was very, very well run. I had to compliment her on that. It was really amazing. But
Dom finally figured out what I meant. This is a fast-paced show, not like you're going to be used to.
Yeah, they click it. They click it off down there.
I'll tell you what. Like I say, I was really impressed. Had a great time. Just such good racing. Good racing. We had cameras on Bloom. We had them on Yeack. We had them on Dakota. We've had them on so many cars, and we were sad that the footage didn't come through we were hoping for, but you know what? Really, we actually picked a lot of the top cars. It really worked out good.
Yeah, good. I want to talk some more about the Wallabanger because, it truly is a great event here in the Pacific Northwest with, the street stocks and how great that class is. Kyle Yeack has got this deal figured out.
Yeah, they should just call it Kyle Cup.
Yeah, that's almost to the point. It's almost to that point. 4 straight wins at this event. $2,026 to win this year. This dude, when there's big money up, when it comes to the street stocks, he's kind of been the guy the last 4 or 5 years, at least 4.
Okay, well, but let's all go over our picks. Does everybody remember their picks for the Wallabanger?
I say Kyle Yeack.
Yeah, so I'm not betting against Dom anymore.
Yeah, he's killing this, man.
Here's make him go first.
So. Let's touch on some other things. We know the highlights. We know that that Yeack won and Andrew Langan was
Well, that was the sad part. Those guys were just back and forth constantly, and you really didn't know. I thought Langan was going to get it up until that bad moment.
Yeah. So I'm at home.
We're in front of the fence.
I'm watching the video later in that night. I'm actually laying in bed with Sandy watching it, and
I was good with not knowing that part, but all right.
We're watching that video, right? When Langan made the pass on the 47 Yeack, at that point, we're just watching that segment. I said, okay, he's working him. Great race, like you said, back and forth. When Langan made the pass, in my mind, That was it.
It reminded me of
74 was going to drive to victory lane.
Yep.
I say that because when watching the video, and you can go back and watch it now, the 74 car was clearly faster.
Even on lap times, it was faster.
Right.
He was the only car to qualify in the 15-second bracket.
Yeah.
Down there, so.
I mean, he was clearly the class of the field speed-wise. Okay.
Right.
Now beating Kyle Yeack,
Yeah.
you got to outdrive him. Okay. I think at that point when Andrew Langan got to the front, which was right when, the lap before or whatever, right before he wrecked, I think this
got wrecked.
In my mind, this is it.
I really thought he had Yeack.
I did too.
I'm not kidding.
You can't count him out, but I thought I'm with
Yeah.
you on this. I think he probably would have won that race, barring the wreck.
Because we're talking literally back, forth. So it was whoever got the momentum to get the last.
Ooh, Andrew Langan says Kyle Cup. I'll take no offense this time.
I didn't mean it. You know that.
So, he says he's a damn good racer. Can't deny that. That race has my name on it for next year, though.
I
love
agree
it.
with that.
I love it. It had his name on it this year,
It
in
sure
my
did.
opinion. I will say, like I said earlier, I don't care about that race car.
No.
All that matters is Langan is out of the car and okay.
Well,
because when you've been around racing, as long as all of us have, and you see a wreck like that when a car goes from wide open to stop and then shoot straight up in the air,
Right
that
in
is
front of us.
never, ever good.
Well, we were literally in front of the fence watching, and it was like, uh-oh. It was bad because
it went dead quiet. I mean, that car, you heard the tires squeal.
Screech.
It hit, and it was dead quiet.
Except for that swearing inside.
Yeah.
You guys said something that I wasn't there, but everybody I talked to said the noise that was heard when the 74 hit that tire. I mean, I've talked to 3 or 4 different people that said, honestly, I thought we watched him die.
The way it jumped and bounced, I was terrified. But then you heard him squaring inside, so we knew he was okay.
A testament to the safety of that race car. That right there goes to show having proper safety equipment, building a race car the right way.
And that car is a show car underneath.
Not anymore.
I know, but
it was. I mean, that car looked like a show car every time it rolled into the track.
Oh, I always admired it.
I mean, beautiful piece of artwork.
Literally,
it's a shame.
Literally, Andrew came around, was talking to some of the people up in the pit stands. I kind of gave him some space like I always do because I just stay away, let them do their thing. Went up to check on him, asked him if he was okay, and he literally turns around and looks at me and goes, I'll get your cameras for you, bud. Don't worry.
They started ripping quarter panels back to get cameras.
And I was like, I'm not worried about the cameras. I'm more worried
Well, he
about
wasn't worried about the car at that point either.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
let's hit on a couple other things.
Oh, there's plenty more to talk about.
There is. And there's some things I read that blew my mind.
Oh, no.
Okay? Things that... And I've had a discussion. I had this at the beginning of the year with James Whitehouse, who, a man that I call a friend. We've talked racing. He's a great dude. I love what he's doing for the sport. I love what him and Chris are doing for the street stock division.
Mm-hmm.
This is this tour, this Iron Giant series has unlimited potential to be a class act, top-notch series. Okay? And I know that James isn't going to get mad talking about our conversation. There's a lot of controversy around this particular race, even with rules. Guys got away with stuff that they shouldn't have got away with. And I know 2 guys teching 43 cars. Was it 43?
43.
It's a lot of work. You're not going to find everything. Guys complaining about this guy and that guy and filing complaints and got to go check this out and check that out. That's a lot of work for 2 men. Okay. Here's my take on it. For the Iron Giant to be the elite tour, to be an elite tour, rules for that series have to be established. Taking tracks, picking them apart, we can allow that, we can't allow this, let this guy change that. That is not going to work. And these guys know this. These guys know this, and they're trying to accommodate everybody. I get what they're trying to do.
We have the same problem with the Hornet race, the Great American Hornet.
Exactly, and we've talked about this too.
I don't want to get off subject. Just
no, but this it ties in. You can't do it.
Nope.
There's too much stuff that is going to limit. It's going to hinder the growth.
Well, it's
45 cars. Sorry.
45.
Yeah,
wow.
but it's all track exclusive. Each track has a little bit different of something, and you have to try to figure out how are you going to make this all combine and how are you going to make it work. And you know what? The way I feel about it, at the end of that race, they looked at each one of those cars and teched it. If there was something somebody had to dispute, they could have done it at that point because those are your top 5.
Right.
If there's something different, I don't know. I don't know what I didn't
Well,
hear any of
but
that
here's
stuff.
the thing. Here's my and I've talked with James about this. James, James the class act. So is Chris.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about it. We've got too many tracks where the rules are just a little bit different from track to track to track to track. You want to change that? The Iron Giant can be that guy that changes it. You make your set of rules. This is what it is. You want to build your car to run the Iron Giant series? Fantastic. Come race with us. These are the rules you're going to run. Okay? Whether your local track says yay or nay, that's on them. But here's what it's going to do. Here's what it's going to do when you take the Premier Tour, in which, that truly is right now for stock cars. You make those set of rules for that class.
Mm-hmm.
Every other track around is going to be forced to follow suit. They're going to. Because what are you going to do? Are you going to risk all of your guys going away on the tour? Or are you going to allow those rules and say, this is the standard here in the Northwest. This is what most guys are doing. We better conform to that to keep car counts all the time. Now you've got guys that can go anywhere and race. It's an IMCA type deal. You've got a standard set of rules for everybody.
Yeah. I know they're taking a poll on the whole firewall floorboard thing if they're going to let those guys race in the race.
That issue to me is an IMCA versus street stock deal. It doesn't matter. It does not improve the performance of the race car at all. It is not a performance-enhancing tool.
It's just the whole body thing. Whatever.
I get it, because IMCA says this and local tracks say this. You see what I'm going with this?
I know.
It's screwing it up for everybody.
So basically, you have to have a set of standard rules that applies to every track, which is the problem we have with the Hornet class. You've got guys that can have modified this, not modified that. It's like
you've got 4 tracks that run Hornets, and they all run different rules.
Yeah, we've got cars that have Esslinger motors in them. We have, and it's like, you can't do that
right.
at our track.
Right.
But then, like tires we run at Willamette, you can't run at other tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a huge situation.
Right.
Those guys have 2 of the hardest jobs. On top of it, most of those guys are their friends, and they're having to tell their friends, sorry, It's a difficult job, and it's a difficult call, and I don't know how I'd even start. You'd have to start with some kind of set of rules that are just a very...
And I agree with Brett. Brett says the firewall shouldn't even be a topic.
No, I don't. I just seen that pop up, and I'm like, why is this even a topic?
It's silly. It really is. This is one thing it's creating chaos in this division because there's nothing about that.
Well,
honestly, here's my take on that deal. I think you should allow aftermarket because they're safer.
Yeah, and we just went through that in the Chevelle as we're doing it. Mac was like, no, we need to put that stock firewall. It's like, I don't even see why this is an issue. You're not, like you're saying, you get the safety. You can put a bar somewhere else and slip a firewall in it. You don't have to work around something to jeopardize your safety.
Mm-hmm.
And and it's not doing anything. It's just for the looking at the floorboard that looks original or it's firewall.
Who cares? Yeah.
I don't.
Little Brody Sims says hi.
Hey, Brody.
Sir, how are you? He's getting ready to head back to Mill Ridge for the big cage kart race, the Give Back Classic. It's a pretty cool deal, but we'll talk a little bit about that. But going back to this whole Iron Giant street stock rules, we've got to do something to get everybody on the same page. This is hurting this class. Look at how great that class is now. If everybody was on the same set of rules, can you imagine?
I can't say it's hurting the class. We're talking, they have 45 cars.
45 cars at the Iron Giant that had how many different sets of rules from different tracks? Do you eliminate that controversy? Okay. This is what I'm saying. Follow me.
Yep.
If the Iron Giant says these are our rules,
right?
Okay. If you're going to commit to run that series, you're going to commit to run that series.
So, I thought you had to. I thought the Iron Giant had its own set of rules. Doesn't it?
Okay.
I'm just asking a question. I'm being as not a class I deal with. What does it say?
If we've got it down to 2 different tires,
right,
and trailing arms.
Okay,
but
I'm not arguing with you.
No. But this is the problem. This is the problem where we've seen a guy say, "Well, we can't run these trailing arms like that. These have to be these have to be at a certain angle. They can't be 2.5 inches above or below. Or we've seen issues with just